Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Parasha, Parshat Acharei Mot, we read a fascinating juxtaposition in which the same word is used to describe the nations of the world and the Jewish people. The pasuk says like this: K'maseh Eretz Mitzrayim, the land of Egypt where you have just been living, lo tasu, do not follow in their paths. K'maseh Eretz Canaan, and the ways of the people of Canaan, asher ani mevei etchem shama, to the place that I'm going to bring you to. Again, lo ta'asu, don't do it. Uvechokotehem lo telechu, and do not follow in their laws and their statutes. Then in verse 4, chapter 18, et mishpatai tasu, but my commandments you shall do. Vechukotai tishmaru laleche bahem, you shall walk and safeguard my decrees and my commandments. That you shall do, says Hashem. So, the chukim, the statutes and the laws of the Canaanites and the Egyptians do not do, but you shall do my commandments. And the question is, what's the juxtaposition? Why on earth would I even think about learning and studying about the values and the traditions and the faith of the Egyptians and the ancient Canaanites? And here is a fascinating and very powerful insight. We find very often that when it comes to understanding other people and other belief systems, we are always very respectful and careful not to hurt or not to embarrass or not to insult them. We'll spend time analyzing them, being respectful of how they behaved. People or scholars have spent time delving into ancient Egypt cultures, ancient Canaanite practices. They'll spend a lot of time analyzing them. But when it comes to our own tradition, our own faith, all of a sudden, there's no respect, no interest whatsoever. There's a famous story told by Mordechai Kamenetsky in his book, Torah Parables, which highlights this. He tells the story of a young yeshiva bocher who's on a plane. He sits down on the plane, and he has a beard, and he has the black hat, and he's wearing the traditional Hasidic or yeshivish robes or garments. A man comes on the plane, sits down and berates him. Is it ridiculous that you guys are living in the Middle Ages? Get with the times. Be part of the modern world. It's absolutely a disgrace that you behave like this. When will you guys change? And instead of taking a back step, this yeshiva bocher turns to the man and says, I'm sorry, but I'm Amish. And as we know, the Amish dress the same way. Also, white shirts, black pants, hat, beard. To which the man responds, oh, I'm so sorry. I never meant to insult you. I think what you're doing is amazing, that you're keeping the values of your past alive, that you're inspiring your children, that the values of this world are so corrupt that you're keeping to your position. I think that's just amazing. To which the yeshiva bocher turns to him and smiles and says, so if I'm non-Jewish, you respect me. But when doing the same thing as a Jew, you don't respect me? That in essence, my friends, is what the Parsha is talking about. Chukotehem, when it comes to the ways of the ancient peoples, don't give them you're giving them the respect. But for our own tradition, you're not interested. Not way around. Respect our tradition, respect our values, learn from them. And if you can't, at least give us the same respect as you would when you're studying about the ancient cultures. At least that way. Spend a bit of time, spend a bit of time trying to understand what it is that Jewish culture, Jewish tradition, Jewish faith, Jewish practice is all about. We get excited when we come to the table and say, do you know what the ancient Egyptians used to do? What about coming to the Shabbos table and saying, do you know what our ancestors used to do? Or have you heard about this Jewish tradition or this Jewish practice? Surely, we can work, we can walk in the statutes that God has given us and study them with at least the same respect, reverence, and due care and diligence as we do when we're studying ancient Greeks, ancient Egyptians. They aren't here anymore, but we are. It behoves us to learn a bit about our own culture and our own traditions and our own faith. Shabbat Shalom.